Hello everyone and happy July. This has been a very profound month for me. Deep wisdom opening up from inside and connection. And I really wanted to come out on this newsletter and just share with you a little bit of insight that I had. So I find here myself under the apple tree again. And this apple tree has so many apples. There's so much bounty. There's so much food growing on this one tree. Too much for one person to eat. And this time of the year, as we start to see on these lands the harvest coming up, we see just how much plentiful abundance this earth gives us. Anyone who grows a garden knows just how much food comes off of a single plant. So it's very hard for me to tune in to an idea of scarcity or an idea of lack here on this earth. But there are places in this world where people are definitely made to feel like that is the truth. And connecting again to nature is always going to be a primary way to remember that you have access to so much, even if you feel like you have so little. So this month started with a silent retreat that my partner Patrick, myself, and my dear friend and mentor Sam Perry taught on, or guided on the 4th of July, on Independence Day. We do this every year. We don't celebrate Independence Day. We celebrate Interdependence Day. We celebrate the silence, even though, yes, my work is voice. We celebrate the wisdom that we find in the silence. And from within, deep within, we can feel our connection to everything that is. We have this real drive for independence in this world, and it applies a lot of pressure on us. But what I want to share with you is about a major insight that came to me during that silent retreat. And the reason why I'm standing here underneath my big apple tree is because it had everything to do with Eve and the garden. We have this incredible story that we live by, that we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, that Eve was tempted by the snake, ate the apple, and we were kicked out. And that story has permeated us, that we are at some level sinners, we've done something wrong, and God has kicked us out of the garden. And what really I came to understand during this silent retreat and during all the work that followed as well this month was that the illusion of separateness wasn't something that God did to kick us out, to punish us. It was something that we actually chose. And it's part of our evolutionary course. During the silent retreat, we studied the Heart Sutra, which is one of the #1 taught teachings and one of the highest teachings that the Buddha gave to his disciples. The Prajnaparamita, the perfection of wisdom. Pra means before, Nya is the root of knowledge. So the wisdom that we possess before we know anything. If you look at the story of the Garden of Eden, Eve eats the apple. Of course, we have a lot of reasons why we would complain that the woman eats the apple. And I've heard many people say, of course, they made the woman eat the apple. She's the one who gets tempted. She's the one who causes the problems. But that's just a story, a perception, a chip on our shoulder. The reason why the womb Anne eats the apple is because within this womb space is all of the wisdom that we all possess, that we've all been handed down for the many, many generations that connect us to this planet, to our bodies, and to the intelligence of the earth. And then when we eat the apple, we are choosing knowledge over wisdom, the world that we're currently living in. The wisdom gets harder and harder to feel as the knowledge gets stronger and stronger. And the issue is that the truth that most humans live by is experiential data, which is all perspective. So we really break it all down. Before any of us ever learned anything, before any of us had a lens to look at anything through, we already had everything we've needed, and we still do today. We have not been kicked out of a garden. We have chosen an illusion of separation, but we are in the garden. And all we have to do is listen deeper and go back to the wisdom that lives in our gut, and in our heart. I'm not telling you to throw away everything you know, but I am telling you to question whether or not it is the total truth so that you can begin to change your reality. The snake is this symbol that we're afraid of, this fear of like the devil, the tempting devil. But the snake is representative of a creature that's entire body connects to the earth. The snake holds the wisdom, is in direct connection with the planet. So the snake doesn't come to tempt Eve. The snake comes to warn Eve. If you eat that apple, you're going to be separate from the garden. Wow, have we gotten this whole thing turned around. Our entire world is based on knowledge that we learn. And if we learn it well and we get that knowledge deep in our brains, we can get degrees and we can know how this world functions and we can become professionals in our trades and we can make all of our money. What if the trick is on us? What if the wisdom that we all possess is the key, is the doorway to true freedom? This is my invitation to you. We don't need to know this life. We need to be in this life. And when we remember that we are not out of this garden, but in fact we are this garden, and we are being provided for in all ways when we learn to connect into our truth, to the truth, we will begin to see such a shift and transformation on this planet. One back to connection, one back to abundance, one back to balance and regeneration. One back to human and human, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart, loving each other, loving themselves, and really a life full of innocence and wonder again. We become children back at play instead of soldiers knowing what battle they have come here to fight. It's enormous. True liberation comes from interdependence, play, freedom, choice. It comes from your authentic voice, not one that's been trained into you, but one that you yourself are going to find when you take this journey deep within. And if you are ready to get back to the garden, really, I have an incredible pathway for you. This voice work will help you to unlock the wisdom that is carried within your being. You might hear this and think, yes, I can't, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm scarce and I can't do it. But what if you can feel deeply in to the truth of what you are, connect yourself to all that you have connection to, and begin to change the trajectory of your entire life and find your way back to joy and to abundance and to creativity and to relationships that are healthy and to everything that you might dream of. If you feel ready for this kind of a reset, to really go in and find your wisdom, I highly recommend that you join my 9-month mentorship that starts at the end of September. Or you get any of my courses to begin your journey. Or you find yourself on a retreat with us to start to open up that door. But whichever pathway that you want to take in, this voice work will help you return to the garden. And I am thrilled to even be able to share this with any of you. And if you've made it 8 minutes and 40 seconds to the end of this, I know it was a long ask, but thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling in. These are the first steps towards true freedom. And I totally wish this for you and for all of us. Humanity is being asked to evolve right now. Are you ready to be part of that evolution? We have to drop what we think we know, and we have to get to what we are and what we were always meant to be, and find each other back in the garden.